3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, Southwest. Welcome back to Scoreboard. This is the podcast that focuses all on Southwest ISD athletics. We are here. My name is Brandon Medina, and with me, as always, is your athletic director for Southwest ISD, Mr. Peter Wagner. How are we doing, sir?
Sir, I'm doing fantastic this week.
Here we go.
The best 5 straight days of football I've had in a long time.
Yeah.
Dragons win on Thursday.
Yep.
Titans pull off a big win on Friday.
That's where it should stop. That's where we can just continue.
The Longhorns win.
We don't need to talk
Even
about
the
that.
Aggies won.
We don't need to talk about them, and we definitely do not need to talk about.
The Red Raiders did not win.
No,
I even watched the end of that game.
That was awful.
That was awful.
It was awful.
Yeah, I mean, like your Red Raiders.
Very Cowboys-Cardinals-esque.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, because at least West Virginia is like a halfway decent team compared to the Red Raiders. I mean, like, let's just be honest.
Compared to the Cardinals.
So thank you for bringing up the Cowboys, though, because Sunday the Packers come back and win. The Cowboys lose. That's good. Oh, and the Vikings lost.
Listen, there's no
and
need.
I mean, like, it's great. And then we come back on Monday, and both my fantasy teams win 6-0 this week.
I'm very happy.
I mean, like,
that you are happy.
I mean, like, I don't know if it's all downhill from here.
This is it. This is the peak.
Like,
you've reached the mountaintop.
This is it. And I mean, I'm probably maybe for the Packers too. I don't know, but you know,
this is it.
We'll see. Yeah.
Hey.
So great week, man. It was a great week. Looking forward to another one.
Alrighty, that's the last time I ask you how your week went. For sure.
I mean, you knew it was coming.
This guy. No, but
woo!
The big thing.
Little Ric Flair for you, baby.
The big thing for this podcast is we have 2 football teams who are getting wins in the columns and they're making progress. One is going to be on a bye week this week with Legacy, and then we have homecoming. For Southwest High School. Just released some renderings also of what that's going to look like in the future with the bond dollars and the bond moving forward. And so beautiful press box. So go check that out on our Facebook. You can find us at Southwest ISD. Go check us out on Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. So with that, we got sports to talk about. Before we do, you mentioned a few events we need to talk about.
Got a big event that we want all of our athletes to come to and their parents really. On Wednesday night, we are bringing in a couple of speakers. First, we're going to talk about nutrition. In our Student Health Advisory Council meeting last year, we had a suggestion that we try to focus a little bit on helping our kids understand what they need to fuel their bodies with, instead of hot Cheetos and cheese.
Yeah.
Which I know is a staple of your diet.
A staple.
But
of all of many Southwest graduates' diet.
Touche. But so we're working on we're going to bring a speaker in to talk to our athletes and their parents about that, and then we have another speaker coming in that's going to talk about college recruiting. All of the things that people need to know from middle school to high school, getting prepared so that we're focused on the process to put ourselves in the best position to when we go to college and our kids who want to continue to play and continue their athletic careers, what they can do to really take control of giving themselves the best opportunity, really focusing on that process from 7th and 8th grade to how they're doing those things to right through high school, their freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year, what your Twitter page should look like, what the different types of scholarship sports there are from the types like football and stuff to all of those types of things. So
good.
Lots of really good information. Hope a lot of people come out so we can share that, and hopefully we can do that a lot over the coming years so people are ready to go.
Absolutely. That's huge information for a lot of people, and so I think definitely go check that out.
That's going to be at 6 o'clock p.m. Southwest High School Mall on Wednesday.
Okay.
And stuff. It's free. Just come on out.
Even better.
It's probably the whole thing will maybe last an hour and a half, and we'll go from there. I know the recruiting presentation will be about 45 minutes to an hour, and the nutrition will be about 20 minutes or so.
Nice. Well, definitely go check that out. If you are here in Southwest ISD, if you are a student, a parent, anything like that, go check that out. However, when it comes to the actual sports,
Struggling with that segue, huh?
I know we are. When it comes to the sports of Southwest ISD, we have not only football, which I recognize, right? We're going to talk tennis. We talk volleyball is the big thing today for Tuesday when we're recording, but also cross country still moving along, man.
Just killing it.
I mean, every week does this change? I mean, the cross country team
actually
stays the same.
It's like consistency is beautiful, right?
Yeah.
So last weekend, both cross country teams went up to Round Rock to one of the biggest cross country meets in Texas, and so we had the Zapatas, Annabelle and Anthony,
who just are a little good. You know, they're pretty solid.
They're pretty all right, and stuff. And so they actually qualified for the gold competition, which is for the gold race, which is they're pretty much all the really good cross country runners and teams in the state of Texas, from El Paso to Houston to Dallas and up north in Amarillo, everywhere, are at this meet. And so to qualify, you have to run a certain time to qualify for the gold bracket or for the gold race. And both Zapatas did that. In that race, you have Anthony got 19th out of 228 contestants and stuff, and so that's huge. Annabelle got 132nd out of 245, and she's young. I mean, she's not a senior or anything like that. She's a freshman, sophomore, getting after it and stuff. And so, really doing great things. So they did that, and then the Dragons also had a great outing in the 5A division. Roman, he ended up 23rd out of 214 in the 5A division, and then Austin Welch ended up 26th out of 178 contestants. So really doing some great things in cross country. Congratulations, Coach Arguello, Coach Alvarez, and their staffs, and keep it up. You know, this week we got the Legacy Titan Invitational cross country meet right downstairs.
Nice.
That we're doing at the cross country course here at Southwest High School. So they got that one. They got the district warm up meet next week at Medina Valley, and then the next week they got district. And so it's on
it's moving quick, and they are the staple of consistency for the district sports right now. I mean, they have just been so good.
Yeah.
Every time we talk about them, they're finishing in top places and top spots, and just really representing the district as a whole. Well,
when you talk to those coaches, Coach Arguello said both their girls and boys, they got some coming on well enough that he thinks both their girls and boys are going to be able to compete for a district championship. And then Coach Alvarez said that her boys especially are looking at, like, they have a real shot at getting in the top 3.
That's awesome.
To be able to move on to regionals as a team. So I mean, we have a shot at taking 3 out of the 4 at least to regionals as a team, to go with Austin, who probably make it as an individual.
And what do you think about our boy Anthony Zapata? Are we looking at state still possibly?
I think that's more like the expectation at this point. Right. I think for Anthony,
for himself
Alicia,
too. Yeah, sure.
For Anthony, Alicia, and Annabelle, trying to figure out where they fit in with that.
Definitely leaving his mark for cross country, that's for sure.
Most definitely.
And so with that, talk to me a little bit about volleyball, man. There's a massive
volleyball
matchup.
Is a huge
you gave me,
matchup.
When you talk about this matchup, give them the stat that you gave me, because that sounds ridiculous.
So this comes from our friends at RC Audio.
Well, and the matchup
today is tonight at 6:30 or at 6 o'clock, but more like 6:30ish. Once the JV game's over, is the Dragons play Harlandale, and so when they play Harlandale,
2 massive Southside schools, 2 massive volleyball schools.
So I'm gonna give RC, if you don't mind,
Absolutely.
RC Audio some credit here, but I'm gonna read this real quick. This from Audio Sports that they put on Twitter when they do their stuff, and they will actually be RC will actually be doing the streaming for this game too on YouTube. The interestometer overload here. The 2 remaining undefeated teams will meet at the Dragons Den. Now let's talk about this. Dragons Den, is it not a Dragon's Lair?
I think it is a Dragon's Lair.
That's yeah.
I mean, Dragon's Den slips off the tongue pretty nice too.
Been arguing about that a little bit with the architects too, with the press box. So I think we've come with Lair. In a Queen of the Hill match to establish pecking order as the teams head to the midway point of the district race. Harlandale has won 32 straight district matches.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Dating back to September 2021.
Wow.
Southwest would claim the Loop's longest active win streak with a victory tonight. Not to mention the fact they would, if Southwest, the winner is undefeated and in the lead in district.
Most likely a district champion.
Well, they'll have to play again and stuff. So, I mean, we might be on our way to a best-of-3 series here throughout the thing. But huge matchup.
So, have not lost a game for Harlandale since 2021 in district matchups. 32, you said? 32
games straight. Big match. I mean, like we said a couple weeks ago or last week, when you look at common opponents, and when Harlandale was in our tournament at the beginning of the school year, and we beat we were gonna play each other in that second round. We won. We beat Jay, and then Sotomayor beat Harlandale, and then we beat Sotomayor.
Yep.
So by
affiliation,
exactly. By affiliation, maybe we're the maybe
top
we're the top, maybe we're the favorite. I don't know that I would say we're the favorite, but I think it's pretty awesome. I mean, we got a Warrior Spirit event. Hopefully, we're gonna have the stands packed with the dungeon's gonna be there. The student section. I mean, hopefully we're gonna have a pretty live event.
I think so, man. And those volleyball matchups get pretty exciting already, especially out here. And so, I mean, all you need is just a little bit of some family and a little bit of some student body, and I mean, it gets crazy. And so this is, I think, going to get both of those things quite a bit. And I think this is going to be a tight one. What are you kind of expecting? You think the Dragons break this streak?
I do. I think that they.
If anybody has a shot, this is the best team.
They've been in some really close matches. I think it'll be I think they got a lot of confidence. I think it's gonna be, it's always. I mean, Southwest in this situation is the upstart, right? So it's kind of how they deal with those emotions and how they deal with just getting out kind of to a decent start and how fast they can settle into a good match.
Absolutely.
So see how it goes. I think that Harlandale's going to probably have a good plan for Addison.
Yep.
So it's going to be kind of how the others bring some of that blocking
tenacity
and bring some of the bring some of that volleyball strategy and make them have to make adjustments so that Addison can continue to do her thing. But I'll say this, I mean, the Dragons are a pretty well-rounded team when it comes to their hitters and all of that kind of stuff. So I think it'll be pretty neat.
Yeah, I think so. And then that's not the only big matchup coming up. We have Fire and Armor tennis coming up next week. We want to just make sure we give a shout out.
Let's not forget about the Titans traveling to win tonight to get a win.
Yes.
And stuff and try to
get a win to get a win.
A win to win to get a win.
There you go.
Anyway, so I mean,
we like dad jokes on this show.
Yeah. I mean, they make it so easy.
It's a
right?
common thing here.
Yeah, it's anywho, just the Titans are in to get a win. It's too easy. It's just like you can't not do it. You have to do it.
That's right.
So, but they're if they can get this one, and then they got one more on, and then they got Fire and Armor coming up in volleyball as well. But then, trying to get one of those W's now that we can play with these teams that are in the playoff mix.
Right.
They need to get a few splits and give themselves a shot at making the playoffs. So they're in that mix as well.
Gotcha.
So we move from there. So coming back to Fire and Armor to tennis.
When is that next week? Just so people can.
That's going to be next Thursday, October the 5th.
Okay.
And that thing starts right at about 4:30. But those things go into the night, and I suspect that match will go deep into the night. If you don't know anything about team tennis, you have to win 10 matches. They start with their singles. So the number one boy versus the number one boy from Southwest plays the number one boy from Legacy, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the same thing for the girls. And so once they get done with singles, then they move to doubles, mixed doubles, and things like that. So there's 19 total matches. And so for you, the first 1 to 10 wins in each match is who wins who wins it. And I think they're very evenly matched. So
Wow.
It'll be interesting, very very interesting, and as long as the Dragons play South Sand, which that should not be a issue. The Titans got a kind of a trap game.
Yep.
This week against Wynn, and if they pull that off, then it's for maybe the first time in Fire and Armor history that both are undefeated going in for all the marbles for a district championship.
Well, and the Dragons are coming off of what you got to say is one of the biggest wins,
no doubt,
against Medina Valley.
Absolutely.
So I mean, this is a team that is looking and feeling as if they're probably destined for it. And so, I mean, here comes Legacy, and let's see exactly who can knock each other off.
It's going to be some hot, awesome tennis going on.
Yeah, there's some intensity
like
for
bring
sure.
your chair.
Yeah. Get ready.
Get ready to roll because it's going to be good stuff.
So, with that, anything else that you want to give a shout out to?
We got water polo finishing up.
Yep.
They Southwest kind of they took it on the chin yesterday to Stevens, and the Titans split with Holmes. The girls lost, but they ended up splitting because I think they beat them in the first game. And so the girls are still in second place, the boys are still in third or fourth, and with Fire and Armor coming up next Tuesday, or I think it's next Wednesday maybe, something like that. But then they finish and they go to the playoffs. So, like, these seasons, tennis is coming to a close, water polo is coming to a close, cross country's coming to a close, which leads us into about 3 weeks until basketball starts.
That's going to be exciting stuff too, man.
Good stuff.
It's going to be exciting stuff. So, basketball's going to be coming up, and then right after basketball, you got baseball and softball. And I mean, it's going to pick up. There's no slow season after this. This is it, man. We're picking up. And so, with that, water polo, talk to me a little bit about how you think the season went. What do you expect for the year? How the growth kind of looked? All that good stuff.
The amount of growth, the amount of how much better we got in playing the game. You know, we started last year with just get 7 people. We're not forfeiting games.
Yeah.
And then make sure that we can stay above water and stuff.
Half the battle.
Half the battle, exactly. To this year, both teams, girls and boys, you see the strategy. You see, and we got young ones who are coming up through our middle school programs and stuff like that. Bernie Battles. We got a couple of freshmen that are coming up that are pretty good to go with the ones that we had. You know, you got Riley Milligan, Savion in goal at Legacy, Riley for Southwest, but then you got Matthew, and you got these other guys that are just, the way they're scoring is the type of technique they use when they get around people.
Right.
Like that stuff that we didn't have a clue on before. Right. We're playing a center now instead of just kind of swimming up there and trying to figure it out. Like you can see that they're learning the game. And so, you know, we took a huge step in that role. We're really competing with, Jay came in and was beating us 30-2 last year. We're playing with them now, both teams. So lots of growth, and it's going to continue because we've got such a well-planned grassroots program through the Aquatic Center. So just I expect it to continue to grow from there. Absolutely.
The Aquatic Center's just offered so much already.
We got 40 kids in diving. We got 60 going towards 75 in our club swim program that's like from 5 years old to 18, you know. And then we need to continue to build our club water polo groups, but just having those stronger swimmers being able to do those things and growing up in it is going to be cool.
Absolutely. There's a lot to love and a lot to be excited about here at Southwest ISD, truly. Lots of competitive sports, incredible fine arts, and just great student body love and support and admiration across the board, man. You go to any of these games and, you're seeing friends of friends and their families and friends' families, coming out to support. This community has really rallied to support the new upcoming athletics that maybe we hadn't seen in the past, like water polo, like diving. And then still, as always, they are riding deep.
We got people coming all out of the woodwork for homecoming. This week.
They're all over the place. And then they are ride or dies for volleyball, softball.
And last week was homecoming at Legacy. That place was packed, man. I'm telling you, we had a good number of people at that game last week, and it was a heck of a game. The Titans showed again their resiliency and everything, and their ability. I mean, that's if there's one thing about Legacy and their coaching staff and their kids and everything else, is that from the day that I remember we were playing Victoria East in I think it was a COVID season or one of the first times that and they came back in a 2-minute drill. I don't think we won, but we ended up tying it or missed the 2-point conversion or something like that. But in a 2-minute drill, we came back from 2 touchdowns with like 6 minutes left. And that's the kind of stuff that's always been there. If they're not playing well, they always give themselves a chance for the most part. And last week was
resiliency factor.
And last week was the same thing. I mean, you look at they score to take the lead with like 2 minutes left, something like that, and then they get the ball and Figueroa, to their credit, gets down to like the 2-3 yard line, and then we pick it off to win the game. Yeah. And like, I mean, just the resiliency of our kids, our coaches, and the way they teach that character and things like that is huge for the Legacy Titans. So kudos to them last week. And then we already, the Dragons had a big win against Win.
Yep. You gotta just do it.
I mean, like, go to Win, get a win.
What do you want us to do, people?
All we do is win, win, win. Win and win, win.
Yes. But win and win, we win, right?
So well played, sir.
So
win and win, we win.
That's right.
We should coin that one.
Yeah, definitely. We're the only ones using it.
Yeah.
I promise. So talking about Southwest, it is homecoming week, like you said. Homecoming week is interesting because you see not only people and graduates and friends and all that good stuff, but you see people come out that maybe haven't come out before. This is going to be a packed one. Mm-hmm. It's against Loretto Nixon. This is a prime time to just kind of show out, have fun, but do not sleep on your competitor, right?
It's also the Jim Bradford Bowl.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Coach Bradford coached at Nixon for a while.
Oh, yeah? Okay, makes sense. Well, Nixon right now is 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
The Southwest Dragons are 4-1.
Yep.
They have faced their own resiliency after dropping one that I know that they wish they could get back.
Yeah.
Right? Looking at this team, you and I have talked about it. Probably the most skilled at the skilled positions that we've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
The offensive line has, for the most part, really stayed steady throughout the year. The defense has had times where they need to pick things up, and they've
been opportunistic.
Opportunistic, correct.
I wouldn't say they're the 85 Bears.
Yeah.
But opportunistic would be a good way of describing them.
That's fair. And so against Loretto Nixon, what do you think are the keys to the game, keys to success for the Southwest Dragons?
I was talking to Coach Franco this morning about this, and he said that Nixon's got like good players at every kind of spot. Like they got one really good corner, they got one good safety, they got one good D lineman. You know what I'm saying? And so, it's kind of how we deal with homecoming period. We talked about this last week a little bit when dealing with homecoming and teenagers, and then you got that going on, and then just it's a big game. You know what I mean? Every game from here, you got the Dragons go this game, bye week, Medina Valley.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so they got to get this one because the next one's huge, after they take a break. And so kind of maybe a trap game, but I don't think the Dragons have played their best football
yet.
Maybe yet, or at least since they played Lockhart and Floresville. So it's one of those things.
I will say it looks like Nixon. So Nixon played Win, who we've been joking about this entire episode, so
and also
won. Yeah, so they win and win. They won, and so they beat Win. They had a bye week, so like you said, trap game possibilities, right? Fresh, right? They're ready to go. They get that extra week of rest. The Dragons, of course, played Win last week, and they win. Mm-hmm. And so now coming in, I mean, if you want to read into storylines, you want to read into kind of box scores, all that stuff, the Dragons win 24-6. Win gets their win 24-19. They give up a little bit more to a school who notoriously has never really been as competitive with football for the most part since we've done this.
Yeah.
And so as it stands, if you want to play into it, there's definitely something that we can expose against Nixon as far as putting up points.
Yeah.
Now, defensively, you can't let up points either. But I do think this game is going to be one that I think the Dragons comfortably go out and win in good fashion for home.
Yeah, I mean, you always got to be careful for that. You know what I mean? I think that what the Dragons are probably a little more focused on is getting some consistency on offense. I think they found it in the second half of the win game, but it wasn't the consistency that they were looking for.
Right.
In terms of, they came out in the second half of the win game and they threw the quick screen passes, the easy completions to Z Voss and those guys, and then tossed it back to Tyson and Jaw Mills and Charles Stemley, and they didn't get the running that they wanted. You know what I mean? And
Gotcha.
so I think that they're really trying to get. I know this, when I was calling plays, if I could run tunnel toss, no problem, then we're gonna run that 53 times.
Yeah.
No matter what anybody in the stand said.
Very aware.
What anybody in the stand said. There's a comfortability factor to know that I can get 5 yards anytime I want and just bully the other team. And I think that's where they're trying to get to, where there's a control factor in the game that plays to how the Dragons play football. So if you look at defensively, they play a cover 4 scheme, a 3-4 cover 4 scheme. Keep everything in front of you, tackle, bend but don't break. And you saw that against Lockhart. You saw that against Floresville. You probably saw that a little bit against Martin and things like that. And it was really hard to see that against Southside because they always had short fields.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so when you're a big play team, which is what they become, or you're out there kind of dinking and dunking a little bit, your margin for error is much smaller.
Right.
And then you have to play more defense. So the idea is a good ball control offense is your best defense, and they're trying to get that offensive line to mature enough to be able to do that. It takes a mentality and a physical mentality to build to be able to do those things. And so I think that's where they're trying to get to this week is how do we bully Nixon into just saying, okay, we've had enough, tap out.
Right. I will say, it sounds like you were almost a coach at one point, man. I mean, really.
At one point, maybe.
Really solid analysis there. I do agree. When it comes to, like you said, good ball control on the offensive side leads to a better overall game on the defensive side. Because you are right. Southwest this year has been explosive. Very just massive plays going here and there. And then the defense is playing longer snaps and longer drives.
I was thinking about that this morning when you look at both teams is that's kind of what over the last couple of weeks the Titans have been missing. You know what I mean? Is if you look at like even against Burbank, but against Lee and those guys, it was big plays. It was Cano Esquivel deep twice. You know, it was James Ross with a quick run because of the different things that they do. And they've missed those. Even at the game on Friday night against Figueroa, they get one, they get a penalty, or they drop it, or I mean they had people running wide open down the seam a couple of times, miss it. You know what I mean? And so that's who they've always been. When they had Xavier, when they had Tovar, and they had Javier Murillo and those guys, I mean, it was big play after big play after big play. The Dragons haven't always been that way. This year, that's kind of their identity right now, that they're not really built to sustain. And so that's where Coach Franco, I think, is trying to get them, because when they get to Medina Valley, they're going to have to be able to keep their defense off the field a little bit to be able to and they're going to have to be able to play field position so that bend but don't break style. You have to make them earn it. And if you're too short, you don't have as much time to make mistakes.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to it. That's going to be homecoming. That's going to be against Nixon from Laredo Southwest High School. The Dragons will be hosting again homecoming. Come out, check it out, 7 p.m. on Friday. It's going to be an absolute blast. Come hungry. You know we got the street tacos ready to go at Southwest Dragon Stadium. And, of course, even though we did shout out to a couple nutrition events, we will have the hot Cheetos and cheese as well.
Absolutely.
Rolling out that
staple
of Southwest ISD.
Mangonadas.
That's right. Yeah, we got it all. So
if you need sugar, we got you.
Yeah, come hungry, come excited, and come ready to watch some great high school football, man. It's going to be a very competitive game and a fun one. And
One
I
of
think
the best facilities to watch it.
it really is, and it's only going to get better. As we said, our bond dollars are going to be moving forward and getting a nice press box. We have the renderings on Facebook and social media and the website. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. Ask anybody who's grown up in San Antonio, who's ever covered sports or been a fan of high school sports. Southwest High School's Dragon Stadium is constantly ranked in the top 10, not only in the city, among Texas in general. It's one of the very few bowl-like stadiums still in existence, and just with real grass.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And trust me, when you hit the floor like Brandon Medina did many, many times, that grass gets lodged in there quick.
I mean, like grass stains all over his back.
You realize you realize exactly very
Cleat
quickly.
stains on his front.
And I promise you, when you are a coach like Coach Wagner, it is very easy to put pressure on when you're getting bit by mosquitoes at every single second of the day as a player. But it's a beautiful stadium, and it is incredible to see. And
Deepwood's off.
The Dragons are going to be
this podcast sponsored by
Deepwood's off. Yeah. The Dragons are going to look to get a big win for homecoming, and I think as a fan, as a alumni, and as people come in who maybe haven't been to the stadium or haven't been to a game in a while, I think you're in for a treat. So we're very much excited. But with that, we appreciate you tuning in to the Scoreboard podcast. We are with you again every single Tuesday moving forward. So we're coming out Tuesday so we can promote the rest of the week.
Come out to that big volleyball game.
We have a lot. We have volleyball. We have
ready for tennis.
A few tennis matchups, and then you have the big one we're talking about next week for Fine Armor.
Mm-hmm.
Go support cross country, support all of our student athletes. They really, really work their tail off to make sure that they can put out a great product, not only outside of the classroom, but inside of the classroom first and foremost. And they all are superior students before being athletes, and they all do really great stuff with our Warrior program and giving back.
Well, I mean, it was only up after you, so.
Yeah, come on now. Look at that.
Yeah, you were a good student.
Yeah, come on.
You were.
Come on.
I can't make fun of you there.
You know what I mean? When you win, when you win against win, we win.
You
know what I mean? Here we are.
Yeah.
So, with that,
got nothing to that.
with that, we appreciate you tuning in. I am Brandon Medina. That is Peter Wagner. We'll talk to you later. And like always, we are
Southwest.